B2 is not intermediate. It's the most comfortable place to stay and the hardest place to leave. And if you're stuck at B2, it's probably not because you lack English. Welcome to Tamid Fluency Academy. Well, in the last video, we talked about what fluency really is. Today, we are going to talk about why B2 feels like a wall and why so many capable learners never move beyond it. And if you enjoyed the first video and you're here for the second video, I'd like to humbly ask you to subscribe to my humble channel and thumbs up for this video. Subscribe, thumbs up, and turn on the little bell so that you can get all the notifications. So the first part of this video, I'd like to talk about why B2 feels so confusing sometimes. Well, at B2, something strange happens. You understand movies, podcasts, meetings, etc. And people say, wow, your English is good. And yet, you don't feel fluent. That's because when you reach B2, this is the first level where awareness simply explodes. And you finally know, enough to notice that you don't know everything. You notice everything you don't know. I compare becoming a B2 student or a B2 speaker. It's pretty much reaching adolescence. It's quite confusing because you don't know whether you're a child or you're an adult. So I may say that B2 is the level of linguistic self-consciousness, and that hurts. That really hurts. Well, I may tell you something about the psychological trap of B2. Since I'm a psychoanalyst, I've been treating people with a lot of different kinds of demands and kind of suffering as well. And it's not different from of a person who books an appointment with me in psychoanalysis, and this person is struggling with fluency. So before B2, mistakes are invisible. It's like, okay, mom, I'm walking. Look at me, I'm walking. Yeah. After B2, the mistakes are intolerable. And it's especially as I compared it to teenagers, to adolescents. In the adolescents, they don't tolerate mistakes. They're pretty much like, it's really enjoyable to teach a child, for example, how to play an instrument, because they make mistakes and everything is fine because they correct it and it's all fine. But when you're teaching an instrument to a teenager, wow, they get really bored sometimes. They get really upset about their own mistakes and irritated. And they start monitoring everything that they do. It's not different from a person who is the B2 level, because they start monitoring their accent, their grammar, their word choice all at once. So instead of communicating, the person is constantly negotiating with himself or herself. Themselves. So in that case, you will hesitate, you will simplify, you will stay safe. This is what you do when you are a B2. But B2 learners, I can tell you that they don't fail to speak. They refuse to risk. I'm in the comfort zone. I'm not going to dare to say anything that I don't know how to say. Quite different from children. So it comes to part 3 of this video, which is really important. Why studying more? And then you think, I'm going to study more, I'm going to study more. I'm going to buy courses. I'm going to buy seminaries. I'm going to participate groups in English, WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, and all that stuff. And let me tell you why studying more doesn't work. And I can tell you that because I'm a B student, a B2 student of Hebrew, and it's not helping me. Studying more, buying more books is not helping me. So here is the cruel part of being a B2. Most learners respond to B2 frustration by studying more. Obviously, more grammar, more vocabulary, more exercises. But B2 is not a knowledge problem. Believe me, it's a performance problem. So you don't need to study more English. You need, as I told you in the first video, you need less internal noise. So the fourth thing that I want to tell you here is that the cognitive shift from B2 to C1 can happen like this. The jump from B2 to C1, as I told you, is not linguistic. It's cognitive. It's you have to start asking, is this correct? Is not that correct? And to start asking questions like, does this work in this context? Because it's all about context. And I gotta tell you something. I love to analyze my patients when they're, especially in English, whenever they are at the B2 level, because we have a field to explore. What do you mean by that? When I ask them this kind of question. So a C-level speaker will prioritize meaning over form, intention over perfection, and flow over self-protection. So I can tell you that the C1 begins when self-monitoring stops being the center of attention. And comparing again to adolescence, if you analyze the behaviors, if you go to a high school and you analyze their behavior, they want to be the center of attention. It's one of the most narcissistic periods of our lives. It's not the childhood, it's the adolescence. That's one of the reasons why they find a group, they find somebody to get identification and all this stuff. So if B2 feels frustrating, that's a good sign. Not always lost. So it means that your mind is ready for a new way of using English. But the path forward, it's not more studying. Place that in your mind and set that in your heart. Okay? It's a different relationship with the language. So this is it. I know that this video, I haven't taught you anything in this video except something to help you understand that fluency does not have to do with more studying. It has to do with the shift in the way you think about the language and start thinking through the language. This is the Tamid Fluency Academy. We don't skip the plateau. Remember, we rewrite it. And that's the most important thing. So if you feel like booking a lesson with me, down below you have the link for you to get ready for the journey. Thank you very much for watching the video. See you next time. Bye-bye.